It's time to start previewing spring sports and show you a brand new sport, because that's the way the ball turns. From the court to the diamond, we will bring you all the best. Give us your best poses and smiles, because everybody's having fun. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. All we do is have fun.
Well,
that's all we do.
And because, while the Mother Nature didn't really cooperate with the winter sports, she has apparently been a fan of the spring sports, and we were able to get out and talk to almost every team that was in action we spoke with last week.
Which is great.
The two lacrosse teams are the last that we will visit. They just started on Monday this week, so we've got a lot to talk about, and a couple of teams already have their season going, so very exciting, and we're going to move right into it. We were able to witness history on Monday night when the boys volleyball team hosted its very first varsity match. It was a moment that players, coaches, and fans across the state had been looking forward to, and the action on the court did not disappoint. The Cardinals and the Elks battled back and forth all night, and at the end, the home team walked away with a huge win. No surprise that the number one fan was on hand for the big event, and the Cardinals celebrated red before they took the court. Great match from the word go. These two traded points through most of the first set. Griffin Garbo showing his power early and often. This one returned out of play. The Elks held the lead most of the first set, but the Cardinals got hot at the right time. They were able to build a big lead late and then hold off a late surge from the Elks. Garbo flexing again, this time getting the kill from midcourt. Cards win set 1, 25-23. The Elks answered with the most one-sided set of the night in the second. Their big hitter, Ryan Mahalik, led the team to a 25-16 win in set 2, all tied at 1 apiece. In the third, another great back-and-forth battle. Good volley going here, and it ends with another explosive kill from Garbo. He posted a game-high 20 kills. Cardinals take a lead with a 26-24 win in the third. We go to the fourth. Elks fighting for their lives. Cardinals trying to close it out. They set up senior captain Julian Vang on the left side. He gets the kill despite Herculean effort on the far side of the net. And this was another tight one all the way to the finish. Lucas Yang catches the Elks napping with a set over the net here. Cardinals earn a 3-1 win, taking the fourth 25-23, exactly the way the Cardinals were hoping to start the season, celebrating a conference win on their home floor.
It was so much fun, and we weren't sure exactly what to expect, quite obviously. But, boy, I'll tell you, they talk about the atmosphere, and it was electric, and it was. There was a pretty good crowd last night cheering the guys on. I had sent a text to Coach Rositas afterwards congratulating on the first win and telling her how much fun it was, and she said that the guys played great, and it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, and for it to be two teams that were so evenly matched, and obviously it was the first ever varsity match for Elk River as well. Yep. So a lot of nerves, a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm in the building. It was a lot of fun. I'm really glad we were able to be a part of it.
No question. Well, Monday night was just the first of many firsts we'll get to witness for these Cardinals this season. The team has a group of seniors that helped start the club program when they were freshmen. Now in their final season, they get to take the court at varsity athletics.
I'm just very glad to be part of it. I'm pretty sure all my boys are too.
It's been a long time coming for these Cardinals, but boys volleyball is finally an official varsity sport. After several failed attempts, the MSHSL board passed the measure in May of 2023, a moment some of these Cardinals were on hand to witness.
I was just so happy, and of course, I couldn't be too loud in that room, but I wanted to just jump for joy and everything else.
That passion for the sport continues to burn red hot, and as they embark on volleyball's inaugural season, these Cardinals are looking to make their mark.
And now when I get to the gym, they're so eager, they're so ready to learn, and they're ready to listen. It's all yes ma'am, what can we do next? Can we have extra this? Can we do extra this?
Talana Rudzitas takes over as the head coach, bringing in a little more experience and structure than what the Cardinals had in the past. Her assistant and younger sister Tezra, who currently plays D1 volleyball at St. Thomas, brings even more knowledge and experience to the court.
I think they're great. I honestly think they're amazing, and this isn't just for camera. But yeah, so last year we had coaches that didn't really know too much about volleyball, but their drive for the sport was what made them good coaches. This year we have coaches that also had that drive, but as well as the experience behind it.
The Cardinals only have a couple of players over 6 foot, so they'll have to rely on their heads instead of their height. Fortunately, their grasp of the game is what has impressed their coach the most.
They're very smart, and they understand that volleyball isn't just about who can jump the highest or hit the hardest. They really get that there's different pieces and they have to, do all of them.
Boys volleyball is the first varsity sport added since boys and girls lacrosse in 2007. There are 89 teams in the state this season. The Cardinals will play in Section 8 with many of their traditional rivals like Elk River, Anoka, and Champlain Park. So there'll be already some strong rivalries on the other side of the net.
I really look forward to playing against my club teammates that are scattered all around the schools in the district. And in our conference, we actually have, I want to say 12 teams or something like that, something along those lines. But yeah, I'll definitely get to play some of my good rivals.
The Cardinals will soak in every moment as they move through the schedule, and their opponents will likely be doing the same thing. For some, it's the little differences they look forward to, and it's likely that those same things will be what they cherish most when it's all over.
We never had bus rides because it wasn't sanctioned, and I am looking forward to the bus rides and just like being with all the team at one time. It's just, I really always thought of that moment, and I finally get it, so I'm excited for that.
I loved that soundbite, and all the guys were just a lot of fun to talk to. But it was a great soundbite because I never thought of that, But the bus rides are kind of an integral part of being a high school athlete and that bonding time with your team. So it's cool that they get to experience all of the trimmings that go along with it.
A lot of firsts for these guys.
Well, they will be hosting Champlain on Wednesday, and then they are at Blaine next Monday. Track and field team was actually the first to get a competition underway, and what a great way to get it started, especially for the boys. This was the Spring Lake Park Tri-Meet. The Cardinals boys finished first with 85 points. A lot of first place finishes. I think the 4x4 also won, so they kind of swept up in the relays, which are all going to be strong. Debian and Tebian Oluka had first place finishes in the high jump and the triple jump. They are twins. And by the way, the 6'6" high jump to start the season for Debian is 1 inch off of the school record. So very likely that he could be rewriting some record books. Other first place finishes, Martin in the 400 meter, Velasquez in the 1600 meter. They took first in the long jump. They had several where they were first, second, and sometimes even swept the podium. Girls team, not the same success rate, but they did have some great things to talk about. They finished third from the three teams, but both 4x1 and 4x2 relays finished first. Shania Horton was first in the high jump, second in the triple jump. Marquise was second in the long jump. A couple of third place finishes in the 100 meter dash and the 1600 meter for Ruby Demmer. Angel Marshall was fourth in the 100 meter hurdles. Rao in fourth place in the 400 meter dash, and Quinones in the 800 meter run. Well, it's been almost a decade now since Coon Rapids took on the one-team mantra, and the track and field teams are really taking it to heart this season. After a couple of years as an assistant with the boys program, Steve Tessier takes over as the head coach for the girls team. So it seemed a perfect time to bring the two groups together so they can help push one another forward.
Because the boys have been preaching family, that they're a family of athletes, and now the girls get to be a part of that too. So we are going to be a track family, all as one giant team.
Every day is a great day to be a Cardinal. And the track and field teams have shown their unity from the moment they entered their first event of the season.
We all warmed up as a team. Everyone was in black. We really looked put together, really professional. I think it kind of gives this intimidating outlook compared to other teams, so that's good for us.
I liked our warm-up. I feel like we warmed up as a team. The girls and boys warmed up together, so I thought that was good. I feel like we had a lot of people push it in their events, like dying after the events, which I think is really good, because it's like a workout.
Like just the energy of the kids supporting each other, and it's like borderline almost annoying probably to other schools, but I'm not going to change our energy of the support that they have for each other and love for each other.
Joining the teams together shouldn't be a huge adjustment, but they hope it will have big benefits. By unifying the culture and training plan, they can work seamlessly as a single unit. rather than two teams that share facilities.
The boys and girls train together, and it makes it a lot easier for us as coaches to not have to worry about, oh, that's a male athlete or that's a female athlete. They're just an athlete in track.
So being combined with the guys kind of helps us make sure that we're getting the pacing that we need and that we're able to get in solid workouts and kind of be more unified as a whole and get a larger team.
Overall, numbers continue to climb for both programs, and it seems everyone came in ahead of where they were expected to be. So if the weather continues to cooperate, there's really no limit on what these Cardinals could achieve.
It's a huge benefit because we can train, do longer, harder practices way earlier in the season instead of being stuck inside, just kind of running around the basement. So it's definitely a game changer, hopefully.
The boys team has been really strong over the last handful of years. Last season, they sent 8 guys to state. They're hoping this year they can do even better and finally get over the hump as a team.
Every year we've been pretty close. I mean, we've always competed, but we're just starting really strong. I mean, everyone's ready to go. We have people PRing already, at least from the throwing side. Everyone's picking up where they left off. I mean, we're ready.
But just based on our depth, I think we're in a better place than ever for a true team. That distance may be what pushes us over that second, third place hump to go to state for the first time.
Part of the reasoning behind bringing the programs together is to help the girls achieve the same kind of consistent success. Early on, all the athletes are really buying in, and they're committed to achieving more by being one team.
I loved how everybody was just like connected and like they're just cheering on one another. I just love seeing like the bonds that we had, like, and just keeping the field hype.
I think the best part of this team is that we're all like kind of like a family. So we're all kind of like, we're cheering each other on at every meet. We're encouraging each other at every practice. We're making sure that we're all like doing as best as we can to just keep going and like not give up.
Everyone we talked to was excited about what they saw in the first meet and optimistic about what they can achieve. They're also committed to helping their younger teammates navigate the bumps in the road so the team's trajectory continues trending upward.
You will have bad races and you will have good races, so just sticking through it every day, giving it your all, giving your hardest every single day, and you will get better.
So we talked about we're climbing the mountain, we're at the base right now, and we don't care how you do right now. We care how we do at the end of the season, and just as a person, I want to see you grow as a person.
Very excited to see what they can achieve. Coach Sullivan especially, but really everybody we talked to just absolutely gushing, especially on the boys' side, about what they saw meet one, the atmosphere, the camaraderie, but also the results. And just the 6'6" is kind of the biggest talking point, but the fact that they sent 2 relays last year. They've had a relay at state each of the last 5 years, I think now. And they feel even better this year than they have those last couple.
Coach Sullivan has kind of been preparing us for months on what he feels this squad is going to do, and he's very excited coming to the season. And they're loaded with athletes.
Yeah, and the girls team is very large, a little bit younger, but they really hope that by bringing everyone together, and it makes a lot of sense. Like Coach Tessier was saying is, and part of that I don't think made it was, instead of having 2 groups of 7, whether it's sprinters, jumpers, throwers, what have you, you have one group of 14, and you have 2 or 3 coaches to coach that entire group. It just makes it so much easier, and we hope that it pays big dividends. And early on, they love the way they're all supporting each other and watching each other, and it's just really taken their team building to another level. They actually are off all of this week. They have a quad meet at Andover on Thursday the 10th, and then they will have a tri-meet at Armstrong on the 15th.
Well, the tennis team opens its season on Thursday on their home courts and right here on CTN. It should be interesting to see what the Cardinals group does and what they can do this season. By most accounts, they overachieved last year. Can they do it again after losing another strong senior class? I certainly wouldn't count them out.
We can only control what we can do on the court. We have 24 matches in about 5 weeks.
It's an intense schedule that will put these Cardinals up against some of the best teams in the state.
Well, we are in the toughest section for boys tennis in the state. The state champion has been out of our section the last 3 years.
The Cardinals won 15 matches last year, 18 the year before that. Maintaining that level of play isn't easy, especially when they lost half of their varsity lineup. But the younger guys are already stepping up and showing they're ready to fill those spots.
And they came in this year and they really surprised us, and they made a huge jump over the off season. I think many of them have been training through the winter, and it really shows.
While they lost a lot, they also returned all-conference captain Cooper Helded for singles, and Austin Hacker, who was honorable mention last year. He'll handle the second spot. They lead a group of veterans who also returned with some added skills this spring.
Well, since last year, I feel like I've really improved a lot in my serve. I really got it more consistent, and it's probably even stronger than before. And then I've really enhanced my ground strokes to really penetrate the court.
Getting outside from the very start of the season is another huge bonus for the Cardinals. They're able to get used to the sun, wind, and cold, and it gives them more room to get in more swings.
It's also just nice being out in fresh air, being able to be on all 14 of our courts instead of hooped up on 4, 3, or even 2.
The Cardinals will get a lot of action in a short amount of time. They know there will be ups and downs, but they also know they can control the ride. And if they work together, they can battle any team they face.
If we all stay consistent, we should put up a really good fight against most teams.
Well, it's always a battle. You know, we talked to Coach Storick at length about the section. He said they're the best section in the state.
Yep.
They've had the state, that was on there, state champion the last couple of seasons. He said, outside of those top 3, though, the other teams are more on their level, and they just hope to be in the mix in the middle of it. But they have some nice pieces, and they're excited about the way they're going to be able to fill some pretty big holes.
Yeah, well, back-to-back seasons with double-digit wins, and obviously that's something they're looking to at least achieve a minimum of a double-digit. I think they had 18 the year before and 15 last year. They're at least trying to get a 15-win team at the least.
Well, they will start, as we talked about, on their home court on CTN on Thursday against border battle against the Anoka Tornadoes, and obviously Howie.
We'll be there.
They have the Cretin-Durham Hall invite on Saturday, and then they're at Champlin Park on Monday, and that's kind of how it always goes. Once they get going, they really pack a lot of action into a very short amount of time. Well, the baseball team will also open the season on Thursday. They will be on the road against Totino Grace. Cardinals are coming off their best season in almost a decade, and while they lost most of that lineup to graduation, they're confident they'll be right back in the mix this spring.
I think we can compete with any team in our section or on our schedule with playing our best baseball, and we definitely have the skill to do that.
It's the challenge every high school program has to face. The roller coaster ride of developing players only to see them graduate. Fortunately, the Cardinals' feeder programs continue to turn out high-quality players.
We got a lot of young talent. There's a bunch of young guys, probably the biggest I've seen in my 4 years. So I think all of them have great potential to fill the missing spots that we need.
The Cardinals' greatest need is in the most critical spot. If you hope to compete at this level, you need some strong horses to pull you through.
Probably our pitching. We lost all our starters from last year, so definitely guys need to step up there. But I think we can make do with what we have.
They have a couple of guys at the top of the order that should be ready day one, but their depth on the hill will be tested all year long. Fortunately, the defense is one of their strengths early on.
I guess the basic fundamentals, throwing, catching, base running, all that. I mean, we've been working on that since day one of tryouts, and I've actually been surprised with the progress and the turnout that the young guys had.
Offense was a big key to the team's success last season. They averaged over 5 runs per game and scored double digits 4 times. This year's lineup will look a little different, but they believe they can still produce similar results.
Our batting order, I think we're going to put together a pretty solid order this year. We got a few underclassmen that are big bats that will have a big key role in our batting order. Then obviously the 5 or 6 returning that I mentioned earlier.
I like offensively, I think we got some guys that are just going to really battle for us. We were a little bit strikeout prone in the past, and I think this year we're going to do a little bit more battling, more balls in play, which is going to allow us to create a little bit more havoc on the bases like we want to.
Playing in this conference can be a trial by fire for a young squad. The Cardinals will have a steady diet of top-tier teams starting on opening night, so they'll have to be ready to go right away.
Our conference is tough. There's not any gimmies in our conference up and down the schedule. It's going to be a battle every game. We've never really played a cake non-conference schedule either. So these guys are going to be battle tested, and hopefully come section time, we're ready to go.
The Cardinals are well aware of the challenge that lies in front of them. They're eager to face it head on so they can show everyone the power of Cardinal pride.
I mean, I think we can compete with anyone we play against. It's a matter of if we work hard enough and if we stay disciplined, keep our heads in it, and we'll get where we want to go if we do all that.
Where they want to go is to the top of the conference, and come section time, they will have some very tough teams to compete against for sure.
As Coach Bright always said, it starts from the mound. I think it really is going to be that way for the Cardinals this season, because I think they can hit the ball. They play solid defense. They love to get on base. They love to cause havoc. But I think pitching is really going to be important for them this year.
Well, I think all three, they'll need all three if they hope to win. They're at Cretin-Derham Hall on Thursday. They have their home opener next Tuesday against Centennial and Howie.
We'll be there.
You will.
We will.
Weather permitting, of course.
Yes. The softball team will also open its season at Totino Grace on Thursday. They made great strides, but they lost some big pieces to graduation. Now they're reloaded with a bunch of young guns that are eager to make their mark on the program.
They aren't at the end of the journey, they're at the beginning, so they're still so hungry to improve.
This year's Cardinal roster will include some familiar names, but there are also a lot of fresh faces, and some of them will be around for a long time.
No, our team is super young. There's going to be 3 8th graders on varsity, there's a couple 9th graders. This is the youngest team I've ever coached.
The team's youth is both a benefit and a drawback. They don't have the varsity experience, but they do have a drive and a desire to get better.
And I think girls are ready to improve. I think they're ready to take chances and to take the learning that they're given by Alicia, the coaches, by former teammates, and I think they're just ready to improve.
The younger girls have already impressed their veteran leaders. They come in eager to learn and ready to work, and they prove themselves worthy every time they take the field.
What I just tell them is, be confident, you are on this team for a reason, and you've definitely shown it. You work hard, and you just bring everything to the table that we want for varsity.
The Cardinals chalked up 10 wins last season, and they're hoping that they can reach that mark again or even do better. The veterans are really excited about what the young girls are bringing, and they plan to help them get up to varsity speed as quickly as possible.
I'm just looking forward to the energy in the girls. I mean, yes, they're young, but I've been able to make connections with them, and it's all about growing the program too. I mean, I can share what I've learned over the years with them to know that what I did here and what I've experienced will also be experienced by other players.
All of the captains seem confident in their new teammates' softball skills, but there will definitely be challenges as they move through the schedule. Their most important message is that they're all in this together.
Mental is the biggest part. If you get into your head, the more likely you are to get an error, more likely you are to strike out. So staying out of your head, knowing that your team has your back, is one of the biggest things on succeeding in this sport.
What success looks like for this squad is yet to be seen. It won't be easy to get back to 10 wins this season, but they're definitely capable. And looking further forward, this group could be scary good.
With our young team, we are on our way to becoming a strong program where people look at Coon Rapids and they don't want to play us.
That is what they are hoping for sooner rather than later. If they can get to that point of play this year would be great. But when you talk about a number of middle schoolers, they had a couple of middle schoolers make the roster kind of later in the season last year, who are now freshmen. Now you bring in a couple more 8th graders, and that's a lot of youth that will have a lot of time playing at the varsity level.
You know, I like the mix of youth and veterans with this team because the veterans kind of can lead the younger players, and the younger players obviously are going to get a lot of playing time, so they'll continue to grow their game.
Yeah, we will see them coming up in a little more than a week. They are also at Cretin on Thursday and hosting Centennial next Tuesday. Jerry Grant actually went out and spoke with both of the golf teams last week, but due to how much we had, we weren't sure we were going to have enough time, so he will be back next week to introduce us to both of those squads. And they don't start until next week. Anyway, the Bunker Invite for the boys is their first event next Thursday. Their first Northwest Suburban Conference match is at North Fork a week from next Thursday on the 17th. On the girls' side, they don't start until the 16th, and then they have back-to-back matches against Blaine on the 16th and then against Champlin Park on the 17th. And as we talked about at the top of the show, the lacrosse teams just starting tryouts this week. We are going to catch up with them later this week and have previews of their teams next week on Sports Night. And both programs now for lacrosse are combined with Spring Lake Park. So we got a lot of SLPCR happening.
We do. We do.
They start, let's see, boys start on the 14th against Andover. That game at Spring Lake Park. Then they host Anoka on the 16th at Coon Rapids. Only 2 matches for the boys at the Cardinal Sports Complex. That is one of them. On the girls' side, all of their games will be played at Spring Lake Park. They are at Totino on Thursday and then at Irondale on the 14th.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm excited to see what the lacrosse teams are going to do, and we'll get a chance to see their previews next week, as you mentioned, and the golf team as well, so it should be a lot of fun.
And we get to get our first look at the tennis team coming up in the opener on Thursday. Weather permitting, of course. We will also be at the baseball home opener on Tuesday the 8th. Boys volleyball on Wednesday the 9th. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Saying good night.